It's looking pretty good, man. I hate to look at this, because I went through it on the show, with Ray Diddy and Michael Barkan. He's trying to get him geeked up and trying to get him into that play, and you could just see sparks flying from out of Ray Diddy's head. He's like, I cannot believe you're saying this, Michael.
Playoffs?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like he almost went into a Jim Mora right there on the set. I saw it. Wednesday show here today in the middle. We're in the middle of the week, Barrett. We're in the middle of, what is this, week 11 in the NFL. Think about that, how fast this has gone. I mean, we're on the back side. We're on the back nine of this season already, even with the extra game. Eagles 4-6. They got New Orleans coming to town this weekend. And, I started thinking about playoffs. For just an exercise, like a mental exercise for what it's worth. Because, everybody's been sort of talking about it since they won in Denver on Sunday. And mathematically, I get why people talk about it, because it is, with the extra playoff team, a legitimate mathematical probability or possibility, I guess might be a better word. So I just thought that maybe we'd fantasize for a bit of today's show until Eitan gets here. And I understand he's trying to get his vaccine booster today. So who knows what'll happen with that. Right. I've heard people having some wild stories after getting their booster shot. But anyway, I thought in the interim we'd fantasize about playoffs. And the fact that really, if you're going to entertain the playoffs, this week's game is really crucial. Yes. Because New Orleans is not only an NFC team, they're another NFC team. They're ahead of the Eagles right now, and they're a team that has playoff aspirations as well. And when you start to think about who the Eagles have already beaten in the NFC, it's Atlanta and Carolina are two teams that are also thinking about playoff. They're also in this mix. I mean, basically, when you take a look at it in the standings, if you pull up the playoff standings, let's just look at, New Orleans is currently 6th behind the Rams at 5. The top 4 are the division leaders. Right. And then you have the Rams at 7-3. And I know they've looked like shit the past 2 weeks, but they're still a playoff team, and they're going to win enough games to easily lock down a wild card spot. So I think you're really battling for 2 spots, if you will, right? The number 6 and the number 7. The Saints are currently in the number 6 spot, and the Carolina Panthers, who the Eagles have the tiebreaker over, are in the 7th spot. So you end up with a tie with Carolina. You're in, they're out. It's pretty simple. Atlanta is tied essentially, or they're actually ahead of the Eagles by a half a game because they've only played 9 games. They're 4-5. But you own the tiebreaker over the Falcons too, right?
Right.
San Francisco, on the other hand, is 4-5. A half game ahead of the Eagles. You don't own the tiebreaker over them. So I'm thinking this breaks down to 2 teams that really come to mind, and that's the Minnesota Vikings and the team you're playing this week in the New Orleans Saints, because I don't think either the Washington football team or the New York Giants are going to finish any better than the Eagles. So am I right about this, or am I missing something? I'm thinking it's boiled down to the Saints and the Vikings, because they're 2 teams. The Vikings, you're never going to play. So if you end up tied with them, you'd have to go to multiple different tiebreakers because there's no head-to-head. But the Saints, you can really take some of your destiny by beating the Saints, and that gives you 3 other teams that are all in that mix out of the 4 with San Francisco that you own the tiebreaker over.
That makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, understanding, the playoff picture. And this being a must-win game, well, they're all must-win games now because, we only have 4 wins. But when you look at the Saints and the division they're in, of course you're going to have, the tops with the Bucks. But after that, man, it's up in the air, So, I really think it's a possibility. If we beat the Saints team, it almost locks us in a driver's seat of being at that 7th or 6th seed.
Right.
I have to do it, though.
Right. I mean, it's kind of, I hate saying must win, but when you're 4-6 and you're trying to, fantasize about the playoffs, you're right. It is a must win. I saw the New York Times, I saw does a probability every week on percentage chance that teams can make the playoffs. And they do it for every team in both conferences. And according to their numbers and whatever, data and, prediction model that they use, the Eagles' chances went from 14% to 18% by virtue of beating the Broncos last week.
Wow.
Now, 18% really isn't all that. That's less than 1 in 5.
Mm-hmm.
So you start to put this like in real perspective. I know we talk about it because it's a talking point now that they've won a game that I didn't think they'd win, and the rest of the division is as bad as it was last season. So you do have a chance, but realize it's only an 18% chance at this point, according to, one of these predictor models.
Well, if you look at the Rams, I'm looking at the Rams, they're 7-3.
Right.
The Cardinals being at 8-2.
Right.
The Rams pretty much locked in,
both of those teams are in.
They're locked in.
Yeah. One's going to win the division. The other's going to get the wild card. They're both
exactly.
In. Yeah.
The Buccaneers are going to win the division. The Packers are going to win the division.
Correct.
The Cowboys are going to win the division.
Yes.
So they're locked in. Only one other team I see can really put up a fight if we went out, the only team that you really talk about are the Saints and Minnesota, so it's looking pretty good, man. I hate to look at this, because I went through it on the show, with Ray Diddy and Michael Barkan. He's trying to get him geeked up and trying to get him into that play, and you could just see sparks flying from out of Ray Diddy's head. He's like, I cannot believe you're saying this, Michael.
Playoffs?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like he almost went into a Jim Mora right there on the set. I saw it. I was watching the same thing. We all saw it.
Exactly. So I'm like. And now that you're saying it, now you put it in perspective, because I didn't want to even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, because that just fires me up even more. When I write down this prediction for this week against the Saints, I'm kind of heading towards us winning, not because of, what defensively they can do, because they're saying, they're number one against, stopping the run.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what they are. This Eagles team has to run the ball in order for them to have success. So they're going to run the ball, and I think they're going to run the ball successfully.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, you just pushed me in this direction. And we do have a fighting shot, man. We got 2 against the Giants.
Yeah.
We got 2 against the Washington football team.
Right. And 1 against the Jets.
Yeah. And I didn't even talk about the Jets. Yeah.
I mean, there's not many teams. Like I was thinking this morning, like all the different levels on the NFL, the teams. Like there's the real sub-basement dwellers. And there's like a handful of those teams. We know they're the Texans, the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Lions, right? Those 4 teams are as bad as it gets. And then when you start to come out of that sub-basement into the basement, like you're in there with the Chicago Bears, maybe the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
Might be that next level up. And then you have the level.
The Bengals and the Eagles.
Well, do you put them in the basement, or do you put them in the next floor up there? Like, I agree, the Bengals and the Eagles are kind of in the same stratus, but I don't think they're in the sub or the basement.
Not anymore.
No,
not anymore. Now, you'd have talked to me 4 weeks ago, I'd say we'd been down there in the lower than the cellar.
After they lost to the Raiders, they might have been on their way to being a sub-basement, subterranean team.
Right, exactly.
I agree. Yeah. But go ahead.
You're right, man. I mean, looking at Bengals, the Colts, they're like in that next tier of guys we should talk about. The Titans, Broncos, exactly. So, you're right. The Titans will win that division easy. Mm-hmm. The Colts, hopefully, we still keep them. They keep winning.
Yeah,
just for our draft pick purposes. Our selfishness.
Well, yeah, they just got to stay in touch so they keep playing Carson Wentz. I think they're going to probably lose this week at Buffalo. But, the thing is, I didn't see Tennessee winning 2 games in a row after losing Derrick Henry.
Right. Right. And everybody else in that, the whole NFL is right around 500, man, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You have in division, you have the division winner, then everybody else is 50-50. You know what I'm saying? They're right there in the middle with 5 wins, 4 wins.
Yeah.
Everybody's around there. Even look at the Chiefs at 6-4 winning their division.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, last week before they beat the Raiders, they were out of the playoff picture.
Right.
So that one win vaulted them in. And I guess what is it? Are the Raiders the ones that got dropped out? Yeah, the Raiders are 8th. The Chargers are 7th. So they're still in it, even though they lost. So that's what I mean. Everything can change in 1 week. It's really crazy. If the Eagles find a way to beat the Saints, they then go to 5-6. The Saints would then go to 5-5. So you'd still be a half game behind because they've had their bye and you haven't.
Why you do this to me, man?
What do you mean?
Because, man, I didn't want to think about what I was trying to
ask you. All right, let me throw this back on you. What do you got today? I thought this up in the last 5 minutes before the show started. Okay, I'm thinking, can we make a case for playoffs? I mean, I'm tempted to look at the schedules for the Vikings.
I'm looking at everything now, man. I'm going through and looking at all these. I mean,
because the Eagles have an easy schedule, probably the easiest. Some say that's because the division's garbage.
No question,
and the Jets,
it's the easiest.
Yeah,
no question.
I mean, look at Minnesota. They have Green Bay this week at home in one of the better games of the week. Then they go on the road to San Francisco, on the road to Detroit. Now it's division there. Detroit stinks. But then they have Pittsburgh at Chicago, the Rams at Green Bay at Chicago. That is way tougher than what the Eagles have.
Way tougher. Let's look at Seattle, man. Seattle,
they're
out of it right now, but
they are.
I'm trying to see if they can sneak up on us.
Yeah, they're taking on water here.
Yeah, I mean, look, they got the Cardinals next this week.
Mm-hmm.
They have Washington football team. Then they go to the 49ers. Then they got the Texans. Then they go to the Rams, the Bears. Then they got the Lions. They'll get the Lions. But then they got the Cardinals.
They got the Cardinals twice. They got the Cardinals twice. They get easy games against the Texans and the Lions. But they have to go to Los Angeles. Chicago's not very good, and the Washington football team. The Eagles is a way easier schedule. Way easier.
You look at they're out. I'm just going to say they're out.
I don't think Seattle's going to make it.
No, they're not making it. Even let's look at the Saints. Let me look at the Saints and how they fold, how it unfolds for them.
Yeah, they've got, of course, the Eagles. Then they have Buffalo at home. Tough game, even though it's
Cowboys.
At home. Cowboys. Then they have the Jets, too, on the road. So they get a benefit there. At Tampa Bay, Miami, Carolina at home, and at Atlanta. I mean, those division games are kind of up in the air. I mean, Atlanta could beat them. Carolina could beat them.
The Bucs will beat them.
Yeah, probably in Tampa Bay.
And I know the Cowboys will beat them, and the Bills will beat them. We have a way easier road than they do also.
I agree. Yeah, because they have Dallas. When Dallas, in 2-3 weeks, Dallas is going to, Dallas might have everything sewn up, or probably will by the time the Eagles play them. So who knows what team they're going to field. That's the benefit of having Dallas last.
Exactly.
I kind of think it stinks because I'd like to see those two teams playing head to head when everybody, wants everybody to play. It's more fun. But if you're trying to make the playoffs, I guess you'll take whatever you get, right?
I'll take that competitive edge out. I don't have to be,
you don't need that.
I don't need that. I don't really care to see the how competitive they are. No,
right.
Just let it ride. Let the chips fall where they may. Yeah, that's a good deal, man. I mean, now that I'm looking at it, so now I got to go back and watch the pregame, and I'm gonna blame this all on you, bro. When I'm doing pregame this weekend.
Good. I want you to throw my name in there. I want to make Ray Diddy's head explode.
It is, bro. It is, man. It is most definitely, man.
So Barkan isn't the only one fantasizing about this. So is Harry.
That's exactly what I'm gonna say too, bro. I'm throwing you in there. Watch what I tell you.
Do it, and if I can get a hello reality check out of Ray Diddy, I know I've made it.
No question. You
remember
are there.
when he did that a couple years ago? Reality check. It's fantastic.
Woo.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, at least we have a shot. At least something is going well in Philadelphia right now. My Sixers got blew
out. God. I didn't stay up to watch that, but
I watched the first quarter, and after that, I was like, you know what? I'm out on this. I am out on this. I mean, come on, man.
I watched the Flyers game, part of it.
Well,
and they won in overtime.
Oh, get out.
Yeah, they beat Calgary.
Okay.
2-1. Low score, and their goalies are really playing well right now.
Well,
scoring has gone down.
You know it's bad for me because even I turned the channel even though my boy was the leading scorer. Shake, shake, shake.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, I just wonder if Embiid's going to be able to play Thursday night against the Nuggets, because I saw that that might be the first time that he could really be eligible to come back. I mean, geez. I mean, you start looking at the roster. These are nice players for 10, 12 minutes a game and so, but you can't be expecting to beat good teams, especially on the road with this type of a lineup. I mean, it's no wonder what happened last night.
We just don't have this consistency that I thought we were going to have with this roster, and it just goes back to the fact that we need Ben to do something, man. We need Ben to do something.
We need the general manager to do something. He needs to trade the guy. I mean, let's make something happen here, for God's sake.
Are we getting to that point where we'll just take anything yet?
No, I don't know. You got to give me something. You got to give me a player, a guy that can start.
Right.
I'm not asking for an all-star, I guess. Maybe I've walked my way off of the all-star demand, but give me somebody that I can plug into the starting lineup and, be a nice component.
Right. I mean, I'm not necessarily looking for a big three guy right now. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a Tobias Harris-esque type of player right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, right now he's our big two, but Tobias, man, to me, he's a great player when he doesn't have to be the guy.
Right. He's a nice 2.5 to 3 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have to be the guy, he's a really, really good player. But what do you bring in? Like what position would you bring in? Would you bring in a 2, another 1, or a 3? What would you bring in?
Well, I'd bring in, some sort of guard. I mean,
yeah, like a 1 or a 2.
A 2/3. Somebody can make a shot. Somebody can make threes. That can handle the ball a little bit. I mean, because I really like Maxey.
He's doing all right.
As developing into my point guard, and then having your boy shake, shake, shake as the backup.
Right.
That's fine.
Right. I am looking for a 2 guard though, because other than that, we don't have really another guy on the team that could really be that field general that can fill it up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We need somebody to be able to fill it up consistently. At least give me 20 consistently every night.
Yeah, well.
We just have one guy that can do that. One. And that's a problem, man. That's a problem.
No, you're right. It is. I mean, that Jaylen Brown thing, I don't know how real that is. But man, that would be spectacular. And I'd love to see Ben Simmons in Celtics green too, because that means you're playing him, 5 times or whatever a regular season, and maybe in the playoffs, and we can just hate on him
and just hammer him every time we play him. Hammer him. It'd be a great matchup. It'll rekindle, the hate that we had for this Boston Celtics team.
Mm-hmm.
It would definitely refill it. It would be a great addition to their team, and I think that he would work there. He would work there.
You think so? Well, they can't play any defense, so yeah, they need defense.
That's what I'm saying.
There, so.
He'd be the only guy that can play defense for him.
It would be great. It really would. Now, are we going to have Jari Evans on the show today?
I just tell him, wait for him to text back. Let me text him again. Yeah.
Because he's in a unique position this week because he can talk Saints too.
Exactly.
That's where he played. That's where he spent his career. And he went to Bloomsburg.
Yep.
He's a PSAC guy.
Yep.
From the city. It's pretty good, man. Going to the pros from Bloomsburg, man. How about that?
That is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I started at Shippensburg, and they've put a couple of guys into the pros over there their history, as has Kutztown.
Well, Kutztown, I played with a guy from Kutztown. He played linebacker
for the Broncos, right?
Broncos, yeah. From Kutztown.
Mobley, I think his last name was.
Yep, not Katina Mobley, but John Mobley.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. And of course, Ed Reed.
So let me see.
Is he gonna come on in the first hour or the second hour?
Come on now, Jar.
Not Ed Reed. What am I talking about?
Reed. You talking about
the Bills receiver.
Yep.
Andre Reed.
Yeah, Andre Reed. Yep.
Ed Reed. Why do I have Ed Reed? You know why? Because I saw recently, in the last couple of days, a photo of our pal Tony Bruno with Ed Reed down in Florida, inducting him into the Florida State Sports Hall of Fame. I guess because he played at the U. Because he's not from Florida. He's from Louisiana, I think. He's from like New Orleans or something. But he was inducted into the Florida State Sports Hall of Fame because he played with the Miami Hurricanes. And that's where I see it. That's why I got Ed Reed on the brain.
Well, I mean, I follow him on IG and Twitter.
Yeah.
And, he has some pretty good stuff every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Is he coaching right now? Is he on his staff?
He's not on the staff, but he spends a lot of time with the Hurricanes now.
Oh, okay.
And it just so happens that one of my fraternity brothers, who's it's actually our Founders Day, but one of my fraternity brothers is a running back coach, and I played with him at Kansas State.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he I was around them this weekend. Well, this last weekend just passed.
Well, they just hired a new athletic director down there.
Yeah, they
yesterday,
did.
As a matter of fact.
Yep.
So now a lot of people are saying that Manny Diaz might be back on the hot seat. With a new AD coming in.
Well, I mean, they did just lose this last game. That's supposed to be a very winnable game.
They lost to Florida State, right?
Right. Yeah, they should have beat them.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't lose to Florida State when you're in Miami, bro. Those Florida teams take all that very seriously, man.
Right.
Very seriously. That'll have you out there quick.
Ed Reed looks like an OG now, doesn't he? With the beard, and he's like all gray.
Yep.
What was that commercial that LeBron used to be in, where they dress him up with the guy with the beard, and you go out and school guys on the playground?
Oh yeah.
Remember that? That's what Ed Reed looks like. There was a movie. Yeah.
What was that?
It
was actually a pretty good movie.
It was.
Yeah, man, it was a pretty good movie. It was him. It was a bunch of people on that played on that team. What was that movie called? Old School? Not Old School.
Not Old School.
Uncle Drew. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Appreciate that, Ash. Uncle Drew.
That was a movie?
Yes, it was a movie. Yes.
I didn't know that.
It was a real good movie too. Pretty good, man. You need to check it out.
2018.
Yep. Pretty good movie.
Shaq was in it.
Yep.
Oh, and Kyrie. I guess it was Kyrie who I was thinking about. That was the guy that had the beard, right?
Yep, him. All of them had beards. It was, I think, Stacey. Was Stacey King or
Reggie Miller was in it too?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm probably thinking of Kyrie.
It was a Pepsi commercial you're talking about, though.
Yes. Yeah, that was Kyrie, not LeBron.
Yeah,
LeBron could wear that though.
Oh, no question.
Like I could see him in about another 10, 15 years with that beard, having it be all gray and grow it out. And then he wouldn't need the Beijing anymore because he'd be old enough to just be bald.
Right. Beijing makes a comeback.
I never knew what Beijing was until I started doing this show with you. Now I can't get it out of my head. Freaking Beijing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. So I was just sort of fantasizing to think, like, could this team actually, now that I think they are committed to running the football because they know that's the only chance, or that's the thing that gives them the greatest chance to be competitive and win games. There's no turning back from it now. So with the division being as bad as it is and the Jets on the schedule, if they can somehow find a way to beat New Orleans at home, it's a winnable game. You could set yourself up for a 9-8 type of season and squeak in as the 7th seed.
Well, it's very doable, and especially with this newfound identity, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They have shown the ability to run it on whoever they want to run it on, regardless who's in front of them. And once you get to a point as a play caller and a point as a player where it doesn't matter who you're playing against, You played, when I played with the Steelers, we looked at the guys across from us. There was no face in that helmet.
Mm-hmm.
There was no number on the jersey. Those were just guys that we were playing against.
It was all about you.
It was all about us.
Yeah.
We felt as though we already played against the best team in the league on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. We played against our defense. Our defense played against us, special teams. We felt as though we were all that. We were the best team in the NFL. So I'm already practicing against, Joey Porter, who's the best pass rusher in the league. I'm already double teaming Casey Hampton, who's the best nose guard in the league. I'm already having to, figure out, all right, where Troy Polamalu is the best safety in the league, while we're out there, because once I played against them in practice, I didn't care about who was out on the field after that. It didn't matter who it was. So it helped me and helped this team develop into one of those teams. All right, when we stepped on the field, we felt as though it was already won. You could see the demeanor also in the other teams. You could see it kind of falter a little bit just because when we walked on the field, it looked like, man, look at that. Oh, there's Jerome Bettis.
There was an intimidation factor
already locked in
the brand of the Steelers, because everybody knew what they were going to get, as far as the identity of the team, and everybody knew what that was all about. And it's like, there's no frills. We know what they're going to try to do. We just got to try to stop it.
It got to a point, Harry, it really got to a point where we're lined up, and it's all right, hey, we're going to double team him to that backer over there.
Mm-hmm.
We would say it in front of them. We didn't care.
Right.
We would say it in front of them and still do it. And that's the type of attitude that this, the run game has to be for this Eagles team. They got to be like, all right, you going to double team me? Yes, we're double teaming you to him. I'm telling you what we're about to do. And sometimes they would take themselves out of the game and do something stupid just because we made the call. And they just, take themselves totally out of the play just by trying to counteract what we were trying to do.
Right.
And it ended up being something, that we use, just to, mess with their head. But we would kill people just because we stepped on the field and we already knew we were going to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy how that was. Well, the Eagles have to have that same type of demeanor with this running game. It doesn't matter who you put in front of us. It don't matter how many people you put in the box. We don't care. We're still going to run it. We're going to get 5 yards here, 10 yards here. Every once in a while, you might hold us to 2 yards. But we're going to have gains, nominal gains as this game goes on, because you're not going to be able to stop us. That's the type of attitude that they have.
Is there a team right now in the NFC that has that kind of swag?
No.
I don't think so either. Even with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you're like,
well, but you do have the point where you look, all right, he's going to throw it to, Devontae. He's going to throw it to him. You do have that. All right, there's nothing you can do to stop that.
Mm-hmm.
That's an attitude, and it's kind of the attitude I thought Dallas used to have with Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have that type of attitude with Zeke, but I don't know. It's kind of left. It's left the building. I mean, he's always falling forward. His first part of his career, he was always falling forward. No matter if you hit him in the backfield, he would still fall forward for like 3 or 4 yards, man. And that's intimidating, man. It's like, man, damn, whatever we're doing is not working because he's still getting yards every time we hit him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's intimidating.
CeeDee Lamb is really emerging now to be a real part of like their identity.
No question. You can't stop him.
Yeah.
He gets open. He finds a way to get open. And you have players like that. It's crazy because, even like I said, I'm looking back and playing with Hines. I promise you, Hines was slow as pond water, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Hines is so slow. I could probably, we'd probably be neck and neck in the 40.
Now, where do you get a phrase like that? I never heard that before. Except from
that
you.
Move, it just sits there. That's for my pops, man. My pops used to say that, man. Oh boy, you slow as pond water. He's mess me all the time, man. Well, what kind of athlete are you? Why I come home? Why did they give you a scholarship? Boy, you so lazy. Oh yeah, he's like, boy, you are so lazy. Why are you so lazy? He just be killing me, man. I was like, come on, pops. Come on now. I'm a pretty good athlete,
Yeah, you played basketball too. I mean, come on, Pops. You got to lay off.
Oh, he used to be on me, man. My Pops was something special, bro.
CeeDee Lamb has 726 yards receiving, leads the Cowboys, 15.4 average yards per catch, and 6 touchdowns.
You don't even hear about Amari Cooper.
No, you don't. He's got 5 touchdowns. Cooper, almost 600 yards receiving, but he's kind of an afterthought right now.
Exactly.
On them,
what does Michael Gallup
have? Gallup, boy. Oh, he's way down here. He's missed a bunch of games. He's only played 2 games.
Yep.
7 catches on 12 targets, 78 yards, no touchdowns. Yeah, he's hardly played.
Well, you look at the stream, they're saying that that you're just saying that Pollard is better than Zeke. I mean, Pollard is good. He's
I think he's good. I think he's good as a 1A.
Yes.
You know, I think he needs Zeke there or another back there. You know what I mean? He's a nice complementary back.
You try to put him out there and play him every single snap. Things start changing a little bit when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
But Zeke, man, there's so much that kid can do, man. It's just I don't know what it is. He just got lazy or something once he got the money. But man, that dude was amazing his first couple of years.
Oh,
amazing. You know,
it takes a toll, man.
Yeah.
Being a running back, I think it just adds up, man. All the pounding that you take. I mean, what is he? He's got 663 yards in 9 games with 7 touchdowns. He's averaging 4.7 a crack. Still pretty darn good.
I can't wait for Sanders to get back. And I hope they don't change it too much, man, as far as, you know, how they're divvying up the run plays. Because I mean, a lot of people are saying, they don't want Howard, you know, they don't want, you know, take Howard out. Well, we when you look at Miles Sanders, bro, he's got it all, man. He's got it all.
Yeah, the one thing about him though is he doesn't hit the hole like Howard does. Like he kind of tries to dance a little bit.
Right. But he dances looking for the opportunity to take it to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can take it to the house. Howard can't do that. Howard will give you 8 yards here, 7 yards here, and you know that's great complimentary football.
Right.
You have a guy that can break loose like Sanders can. You know, he can maybe hit the hole. You go ahead and tenderize with Howard. Hit the hole. Pound him. All of a sudden, you put Sanders in there, and pow, he's out the gate.
All right, let's continue talking about Sanders and his return to the lineup when we come back. We'll take a short time out. You're listening to The Middle on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel with Barrett Brooks and Harry Mayes. Still waiting on Eitan Shanders' return. Back after this.